This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Handy.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. I'm representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail rarely, get your tail buried. Deep as JJ to JJ on Hail Marys. I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries. And 2 tugs, that's how you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, where we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota know this. Minnesota know this. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we Skol, we so ferocious. So just know, just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and the gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota. And gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla.
Welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. You are here tonight for Vikings United. I am your host, Bubba Startz. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Big B. B, what's shaking?
Nothing much, man. It's my Friday. The chat's already lighting up about 4 minutes into our show. And, you know, OTAs are over. Now it's time to see who gets cut, signed over the next couple of days and to help our purple become a better team.
Yeah, well, and a couple of them today that the team announced. We'll talk about that later, but let's bring in our other co-host for the evening, Pods. What's happening, buddy?
Not much. How's it going, fellas?
You tell us, man.
I mean, I'm doing pretty good outside of my shoulder. Other than that, life's pretty good.
He's got Carson Wentz syndrome.
Oh, no, I got Carson Wentz syndrome with a little bout of Christian Ponder with my golf game right now due to it.
No bueno. Pods, we got to get you into that physical therapy. Got to get you healing up, back on the course. And as always, I really appreciate it. If you guys have been tuning in to our channel, Pods has been absolutely killing it on all the short form content going out. A lot of golf stuff from all of us, just hitting horrible shots, like 3 good ones to every 100 bad ones. So hope you're getting a good laugh out of all of us golfing. I hope you commiserate with us and see a little bit of yourself in that game. It's been really fun to watch the numbers climb, and I think 70,000 views in the last month. So kudos to you, Pods, for being a team player and getting it done. Shout out to Bob's Weed. Yeah, exactly. In the chat with us, Chevy. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, I just saw
easy if
something,
you don't keep score.
and I was doing some research there, Bubba. The Vikings have added to their GM team Ryan Pace, former GM of the Bears.
Really?
As a football advisor.
Interesting. A lot of guys not a big fan of Ryan Pace when he was with the Bears, but I thought he built some really good teams over that time, especially on the defensive side. Guys can get on him about what he had. You also don't know how that organization with the Bears was run, who had final say in a lot of those things because of the McCaskey family and the board that really runs that team. So Ryan Pace, longtime football guy, around in a lot of rooms with several different organizations now. So interesting to see him added onto the Viking squad. Most recently, he was with the Falcons for the last couple of years, where he kind of had originally come out of. So interesting stuff there. I didn't see that in the news.
Yeah, I just was scrolling through and it just popped up that that we took a former rival GM. So of course had to click on it to see who it was, but
yeah, and somebody with experience being at the top of that ladder, right? So it's interesting to see Nolan Teasley, hiring guys on that have more experience than he does, bringing them into the fold. And I don't mind that whatsoever.
No.
Maybe some inside knowledge. I mean, not a lot of people left in that Bears front office after they kind of cleaned house and hired Ryan Poles, but still some insights into the happenings inside of Hallis Hall. It's not all different there. So I never dog on people for kind of hiring that, and it's not like he's in a position.
No, and I think somebody that's still fairly young in the position. I mean, yeah, he was an intern and moved all the way up, so he's got experience. But I think to hire people that have been there to help him, learn the position as a GM, I think it's going to be key.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, right? Because unfortunately, you aren't able to reach out to the mentors that you had at your former team, as you once did, and to have them in there, to rely on them for that. So bringing in guys from other organizations that are out looking for a job that have been in that position, I don't find that to be a particularly bad thing. Pods, what's your take on, looking outside and maybe around, some guys that have done it before that are out there? Obviously there's a reason they don't have a general manager job anymore, and those are there. But what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, at least in my perspective, it's kind of like the guys who are really good coordinators, but they may not be good head coaches. Yeah. I feel like having Pace in an advisory role, especially with how young he is and having worked for such a storied franchise such as the Bears, is nothing but a benefit to the Vikings, because it also gives them some insider ball on how a rival in the NFC North works and some of the inner workings. Maybe not how they do it now, but kind of an insight. And I don't think the board and the McCaskies really changed their framework of thinking all that much. They got fortunate with the quarterback situation that they're in right now. But a lot of people forget that the main reason that Pace lost his job was because he was tied to Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So and Mitch Trubisky as well. So and we don't know exactly how that all played out. There was a lot of rumors inside of there that the buck didn't necessarily stop with pace on a lot of decisions, and that Fields was more his guy than before. Thanks for the assist there, Scotland. Appreciate you. Always saving your ass, Pods.
Well, just before we get off this topic, I got one more thing on it too. Is with Pace, he's another one of those guys though that he can build a defense, and he's got a great defensive coordinator already with the Vikings. So to advise Brian Flores, two good defensive minds, that's going to be a benefit, I think, to an already uber athletic, uber talented, and to a degree, uber veteran defense that's not too old. So like you got some guys that are seasoned, but they're not seasoned past their prime.
Well,
so
I think
that's going to be helpful.
What made Pace so good at what he does was a really good pro scouting department. So he probably knows some guys to help fill in the gaps on that scouting side, because you have to kind of top down this entire thing now that you have, you have someone now with experience and with connections. I think the experience is one thing, but the relationships that he's built in the league over this time are really more valuable than anything. To have guys that can fill in and to really get in there and do this. Hey, that's a different show. We don't have that segment, but we will take your prediction. 50 points more than once this year. Doable. I think we're going to play some poor defenses along the way. Can this team hit a couple of home runs? How many did they end up putting up against Cincinnati last year? It was 4 in the high 40s, wasn't it?
I want to say it was 46.
As well. When was the last time? So we're looking it up, Bob.
It was either 46 or 48.
Yeah, it was. I know it was real close. So, and that was with Carson Wentz behind there. Now, granted, 2 of those were defensive touchdowns, or more of them. I know 2 for sure, and a third one I think set up a really short field for another.
Chevy, I don't want to rain on your parade, brother, but I don't see the Vikings scoring more than this season 38 points.
It's been almost as old as you are. Since almost before you were born, sir.
Wow.
That's a day before my birthday.
There you go. Well, now we know when Pod's birthday is.
Do we care? No.
I'm
only kidding, Pod.
We'll take it. He's not a Dodgers fan at that point, and we don't have to hear about it. So,
yeah, I'm a Chiefs fan at that point.
Yeah, that's okay. When are the Vikings going to play the Chiefs, right?
I don't think it's on this schedule.
No, we play.
Although if we play them in the Super Bowl, hey, rematch of Super Bowl 4.
There you go, throwing it back. Speaking of throwbacks, will history repeat itself, B? The Knicks won the NBA championship. Shout out to the New York Knicks. And the last time they did that, in the 80s?
1973.
70. Geez,
56 or 53 years without a championship.
Norse, what's good, buddy? What's happening, our good friend Norsevius?
I don't know. I think the Knicks either had the second or the longest championship drought after. Who's got the longest championship drought now, Big B?
In all of sports or basketball?
Let's just say for all of sports.
Let's see here.
The big 3, anyway.
Longest championship drought.
We are in the
Arizona Cardinals, 79 years. And then the Guardians.
Really?
Yep. Then the Guardians at 78. Sacramento Kings at 75. The Lions at 69. Yeah. And then Atlanta and then the Minnesota Vikings at 65 years.
Fun fact, the Sacramento Kings actually used to be in Kansas City before they moved.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Thanks, Pods.
KC's never had pro basketball since.
All right, we're going to hit a quick word from our sponsors with Odyssey Exteriors, and then we are going to come back and talk a little bit more Vikings football. A couple changes have been made, and we're going to talk all about it. But first, let's get a word in from our sponsors at Odyssey Exteriors, and we'll be right back. In Minnesota, your home faces it all. Brutal winters, pounding hail, and summer storms that don't hold back. That's why homeowners trust Odyssey Exteriors, your local, family-owned exterior experts based right here in Burnsville. From roofing and siding to gutters, windows, and decks, we use Midwest tough materials and certified crews to protect what matters most. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and a reputation for integrity, we treat your home like it's our own. Call 952-923-0062 or visit odyssey.ext.com today to schedule your free exterior inspection. Odyssey Exteriors, built Midwest tough, built for you. A huge shout out to Cole Quinnell and his lovely wife, Tara, for supporting the show here. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude this month, supporting our coverage of the Unreal Celebrity Softball game, where we are up in Minnesota, helping us to cover our travel expenses and making sure that we can bring this amazing coverage to you guys. They're going to be a big part of our tailgate, pregame shows that we're doing up there with the Viking World Order, and just
Skol.
A lot of great stuff. So, yeah, indeed. I sent him a photo. I don't know if you guys saw it in the chat of the Econoline bus, mini bus that I put in there that was all done up.
I saw that. You're like, wrap that thing in blue and go down
Hey,
the
buddy,
Midwest,
let's
baby.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
I did
go.
do that, yeah.
Let's go. Hey, just throwing it out there. You never know. We'll see what they think about it. We're kind of in the doldrums now, right? A little bit of this lull in between the end of mini camp and the start of training camp in late July. We may be taking some time off from the show as my schedule gets a little chaotic the next few weeks. I got a few trips planned, the 4th of July weekend, a lot of stuff going on, and not a lot of Vikings news to share. So we may hit a little.
Not a lot of football news in general.
Exactly. So we may.
And the thing is if something pops up, we'll jump on and cover it, so
we'll just talk about it on one of our other 7 shows, or we'll put out some short form content, just kind of covering it like
Bubba.
our guy Rap does with his short videos and having that opportunity. B, you now have access, in the back door as a producer that you can create some videos. If you got something on your mind, Pod's in the same way, kind of opening that door up to these guys as they become a bigger part of the Scene Project Sports Network. I will just be incredibly busy over the next month and a half, even through training camp. I'll spend a good week and a half out in Sturgis, South Dakota for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. There's just a lot of other commitments that I have outside of this show in particular and everything that we're doing. And we're really excited to have Pods and B taking on bigger roles here. We mentioned Pods putting out all that short form content you guys have been watching, and a lot more of that to come. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you are sharing this out with your friends. If you see something that, you find insightful, whether it's on our Instagram page or, on Facebook or here on YouTube, you make sure you're sharing that out for us. We really appreciate the community. A lot of you guys coming over with our guy Rap, who, shout out to him. His show is on our Roku channel now, Booms TV 2.0. We got some of the episodes that we've done together, and we're going to be hunting through some of his other backlog content to bring those episodes over.
Shout out
well.
Local Vike.
Yeah, incredible to have a I've never seen that before. It startled me too. Did you say now you can see the chat, B, right?
I can see the chat, but
I don't know that this has ever been said before in real life.
Not since 91.
Thank God for the Twins. What kind of hellscape are we living in right now?
Hey, Bob,
I want to know what you're smoking there, bud.
We want some of Bob's
The good
weed
stuff,
too.
Pete.
And the thing is I'm a big baseball guy. I love the Twins, and it's just, and I love my Vikings. And it's just, it's this time of year is just tough because the Twins are the Twins, and there's nothing going on with the Vikings.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, basketball is just wrapping up. Hockey just wrapped up, so
Hi,
good time to be out.
Danielle.
Hey, Danielle.
Also,
Super fan. My wife Danielle.
since you said it, B, shout out to the, Carolina. Shout out to
Yep.
Raleigh. Congratulations on this Lord Stanley. Beating the Vegas Knights.
Pretty incredible, man. Damn near a clean sweep of the
That honestly was probably the best. I didn't watch all of it, but just seeing the highlights and listening to other people talk was a heck of a series. I mean, what was it?
Really
game 4 going into the third. It was a 4-1 game. Turned out to go into overtime, 5-4. I mean, even the basketball, finals. The Spurs blowing, a half a dozen
double-digit leads.
I mean, so it was good for the sport teams, good for the Knicks to get the monkey out the bag. Hopefully, as we talked about it, history repeats itself and the Vikings are walking into the Super Bowl and we have something good to talk about.
I didn't watch either one of those finals.
You didn't miss much. I mean,
I had watched
the
a
only
couple
thing
of the
you
Knicks
missed
games earlier in the season, and they were just tough to play against. Man, they would wear you down. They're
a
an
cohesive
offensive
team
system, that just wore you down.
I tell you what, if the Spurs can get a big guy that can crash the boards and help Wemby out, that team will be untouchable.
Wembanyama doesn't need more help. They need a better coach. Because to give De'Aaron Fox the ball 17 times and he only makes 4 field goals.
Yeah, I mean, coaching does help, but I still think, though, if they can get another guy that can get down low or Wemby puts on some muscle, I mean, the guy looks like Cody, stretched out more. I mean, so.
God.
A 7'10", a 7'10" Cody, who absent today. So I think Danielle did actually fire him because he's not present. So R.I.P. Cody.
Cody, get the margaritas already, man.
No, well, and that's just this time of year. I know he's prepping for his JV football season and just took on the new job with the with the Hastings Automotive, Hastings Ford there in Hastings, Minnesota. So excited for him. Looks like he's been selling the hell out of some cars, and maybe they'll be able to provide a venue for us to do the away game pregame shows from and have some activations there with Hastings Ford. So keeping that door open. Got some really awesome talks. We've been reaching out. Did get a hold of the Thielen Foundation. Got a meeting set with their executive director, talk about helping them a little bit more with coverage. So continuing to build relationships on our side with a lot of these teams. We mentioned our new relationship with the Northwoods League on the baseball side, and just a lot of interesting stuff happening all across the board for us. The golf stuff, we got the Skunk Classic coming up in Minot, North Dakota, June 27th. So we'll be heading up there next weekend. My wife and I will. Pods, the airplane is broken down, so we can't get you up this time, but I promise you next year we will be more prepared, and we'll make sure the private jet is fixed, buddy.
Also, shameless plug here, but use our affiliate code Stay Stinky at the Skunk Golf Company's website to get 20% off any apparel right now. And we hope that you guys show up at Minot if you're in the area.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think that code is actually a thing, Pods, but I'll work on that. Maybe we can just keep using that coupon code they ran for their 2-year anniversary.
I think that's a great code, in my opinion.
Yeah,
no, it's great
I like that we can plug and we can offer something to our people. So I'm going to reach out to Alex and Aubrey and Kyle. We're going to talk about it when we're there. We're going to host some business meetings with the guys when we can and really get into there. So bring B back in. Pods, what was your take? Now, you haven't joined us for a couple of weeks. Your kind of recap and your take on the mini camp that was. You can touch on some QB competition if you like into there, and I'll just kind of give you the floor and let you wrap here.
I think when it comes to the QB competition, I think that I was pleasantly surprised by JJ McCarthy. I was not expecting a whole lot out of this mini camp. And now that I've seen the reps that he's taken, he looks more on time. Like, I think there was a stat that B put in the chat where he threw eight touchdowns, no interceptions, and Kyler had 6 interceptions and 2 touchdowns on like a 15 rep like little drill they did. And if this continues into OTAs and continues into the preseason, I think it's pretty much a far gone conclusion that Kyler Murray is going to be on the trade block. You're going to try and get him for a backup, maybe a pick, and then you have JJ McCarthy going in as your starter.
What a turnaround that would be.
It would be a massive turnaround, but it would also be a massive boon to the Vikings financially, because then that means they got their guy on a rookie deal and they can spread that money to other positions to help out their quarterback and to potentially shore up that line for their run game as well.
Well, and that's what I said too, is I wanted to see JJ come in with fire in his eyes and show that he belongs here. And it looks like Kyler Murray did that. And again, I've stated before, this might have been something they wanted to do last year with Daniel Jones, but of course Daniel Jones walked away at the last minute, so they were scrambling. So, but yeah, definitely a good look in OTAs for young JJ.
It's a great look, because if he works out, the flexibility that you get on your roster from having a quarterback under a rookie deal is the same flexibility that New England has with Drake May and how they were able to go get AJ Brown and all these people. So like, if JJ turns it around this year, like, all right, here's what I'm thinking, because I saw his timing, and I'm going to be a bullish prediction on JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy this year throws 28 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. And I think he leads the Vikings to a 12-5 record.
Wow.
If he can keep this momentum and keep this timing, he's already got Jettas, and they are able to get people, and they buy into him, and they're able to get people around him other than just Jettas and Addison. They're able to shore up that line, and Claiborne's able to do his thing. You guys are in for, I think, your first, if not in the last like 5-6 years, your first NFC North title.
All right, well, let's mark that. Let's cut that tape at the 27 mark.
Yeah, clip that.
No, you guys know how hard I've been on JJ.
Well, no, and you coming from a non-Viking fan, I mean, that's putting some respect out there, because, you know, we got us Viking fans, you know, that some that are, JJ's going to come out and do this, or Kyler Murray's going to do this. This is where we're going to go.
Well,
and
it looked like one guy hit the playbook and the other guy kept hitting the Call of Duty lobbies.
Yeah. No, that's definitely good.
Heard a little bit of the talk coming out of their press conferences after, you know, Kyler, I won't say complaining, but addressing the situation. Hard to learn this whole system. You're not getting the reps. You'd like all those reps, but the reality is that I think internally the Vikings are still trying to develop and to see what they have with JJ McCarthy. The reason you bring in a Kyler Murray is because you finally have a player here of a stature that actually puts some pressure on him. Carson Wentz does not put any pressure on a JJ McCarthy. Even a Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones must have felt that way as well, that he doesn't put pressure on a JJ McCarthy. Now the last season and how well Jones was throwing the ball around last year maybe speaks a little bit differently, but it's not like he, you know, cemented himself as a long-term starter with his work at the Giants, right? So it's like, you know, you didn't have these things. I like the
but also that's not Daniel Jones's fault. The Giants are kind of a dumpster fire.
Right. Well, and he showed a little bit last year, but that season, I know, you know, he ruptured his Achilles, obviously. So, you know, this is kind of revisionist history here. You don't know that the season doesn't end up tanking on Indianapolis regardless, right? Like you don't know if teams start to figure it out and to play differently. So it's really hard to look back and to say, oh, if he didn't get injured, they would have been, you know, in the Super Bowl, right?
Well, there's a bunch of that. Yeah.
Well, that's the half. That's 90% of the fans out there. That's why our show is succeeding, is because we're realists. I think there's a realistic shot, like you do, this team wins 12 games. That's what I've said since the end of last season, looking at, as the schedule came out, looking what they did with the team, getting B-Flow back is like we're 3 wins in hand regardless. And with a younger, I think, tougher defense. And one of the quotes I read from training camp today, or from mini camp rather, was that Kevin O'Connell was lauding the defense, saying they're already in midseason form. Now, granted, we're out there, no pads, we're in, pajamas essentially running around still and not really doing a lot. But yeah, I think this is about to I think this defense is about to give you what the 2024 defense gave you a lot of short fields, a lot of quick changes, a lot of defenses that just stepped off the field going right back on. And that's how you get JJ McCarthy to a reversed kind of season that he had before. What was his stats from last year? He was like right dead even, right? Like 10 touchdowns or 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I don't know the stat line, but it was very meh, right? It was very just kind of
Can you pull that up for us?
Yep, I'm looking. Hold on.
It was it was very, I think that another year in the system, a full off season now, not rehabbing an injury. The injuries that he'd had during the season last year seem to be all healed before we got to the off season, activities, that you have an ability finally this year that he's taking significant reps. He is able to perform.
And he's taking it seriously.
Well,
yeah, so JJ just threw under 1,700 yards. He had 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, the big number of sacks of 27.
Right.
Wow.
And I would say a lot of those not necessarily his fault, right? Some of them holding the ball too long where you're like, you got to rip it, kid. But that offensive line was in shambles all year long. Darius,
I would say of those 26 sacks, 9 of those were him holding the ball too long.
Right. Which
so maybe just under a third.
And as a first-time QB, you're going to have that. He's still in that mode where he has to see it. But I think evidenced by the success at minicamp that he's starting to see the game differently. They say it slows down for you, right? And that is something that I think you can see early, that you can start to forecast that things are going to look a little bit differently. I think just on a physical nature, I think JJ's just a more physically ready quarterback for the league, right? We talk about it a lot.
Well, he can see over the offensive line for starters.
Kyler Murray is a smaller player, right? It is what it is. It doesn't make him a little more elusive back there in the backfield. Is he a little shiftier? The thing is that those things fade. Your agility as you get older, Father Time is undefeated. So as he becomes now, 28, 29, Kyler Murray, right? You're at this window now where you can't just rely on your physical abilities to get you by.
Also,
and I think
Bubba,
that's a big reason
he's taken a lot of hits in his career already too.
He's been injured a lot because of it, right? He spent a lot of time on the offseason. Do I think he's a huge upgrade as a QB2 if that's the way it works out and JJ is the starter of this team week 1? I think he's a massive upgrade over what is left of Carson Wentz still, right? But also,
I mean, going into the season, Murray was an upgrade in general. It was just, what do we want to pay for that upgrade? We got a good upgrade. Doesn't mean nothing. That
you paid in NFL terms, you paid absolutely
exactly. You paid nothing
peanuts.
For it. So if Todd plays it out and we end up cutting them or trading them, we're out nothing. We got our quarterback for the future. So
Bob, I think he's here for less than a year. I believe that if JJ proves he can be the starter, that you have a nice little piece of trade bait.
He might not even be here for any games. I mean,
I don't think anything happens before the season. I don't think.
Here's what I think, that he's here for 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, Northfield. It's a little bit of a delay. I think he's here for 6 to 8 weeks if things go really well. And I'm going to be bullish on this too. Like, I really think JJ is going to do good. I really do. But I think it'll be in spite of Kevin O'Connell. I really do. Like, I think no matter what happens this season, he's got to go.
Ooh.
Damn, that's a hot take. Clip that. I think you have a great piece of trade bait with Kyler Murray, regardless if he sees the field or not. I think if he is able to go out and perform in whatever role it is, whether he starts a few games and then the team just decides to go another way, or maybe he starts all 6 games, but you're just getting an offer from someone who needs a quarterback and you're not going to get, they come at you and say, hey, what would you take for him? Knowing full well that you're not going to pay him in a future, right? If you're able to pull a 2nd round pick even for a guy that you paid $1 million to, you've done pretty well. If you can get a 2nd plus, maybe, if he's lighting it up and you can pull a 1st round pick out of somebody, and I think the 2nd round picks you'd probably have in almost a 1st round grade out there. So it's
but again, it all comes down to what the record is and how we're performing. If we're sitting trade deadline is week 8, and we're sitting 6-0, we got 2 weeks to determine where we're going, and we're 6-0. The Vikings ain't going to move on a quarterback no matter what the pick is. So for that to play out, we almost have to be 500 or something, where Kyler Murray's playing decent enough to get some value on him, and we trust JJ. So, overall, I think our defense is going to help us win some games. I don't think this is all going to be.
I think there's a lot that can happen behind the scenes and what they're seeing with JJ leading the scout team. If he's not the starter, that they can be confident moving forward if there's stumbles with Kyler Murray, right?
There's got to be stumbles.
I don't think Kyler Murray has a very long leash with this team. I just don't think that it's come in, you succeed, because I don't think KOC has a very long leash. And we've kind of talked about it a lot on
at least
programs.
He shouldn't.
No, I don't believe he should either. And especially with the new GM, with Nolan Teasley out here, who knows what it takes to win. You have what we hope is another historically good defense kind of building, and a lot of young talent on that side that, it's going to be interesting to see how the relationship develops between your GM and your head coach, and now this new front office, and how they feel about all of these, the head coach and some of his tendencies and his stubbornness that is very duly noted at this point.
Well, and that's the thing is right now the big ties together is McCarthy and O'Connell, since they both came in at the same time. So if O'Connell goes, where's that leave McCarthy? Unless the rest of the front office and even B-Flow is like, no, that's our guy. That's who we want. Let's roll with them. So I think O'Connell definitely has a short lease. Murray has a short lease. It definitely will be interesting to see what happens in the first few weeks.
Yeah, Bob, I like the take here. 1.3, use him, abuse him, right? Like, throw him out there. I want to see some packages out there that they put together where you have both quarterbacks on the field, right? Yeah. Where you are putting this guy out there. You use Kyler Murray, use those legs. Put him back there in the backfield, right? A pistol with Kyler Murray behind JJ McCarthy. I think that's something that's going to at least give you a little pause, and then maybe becomes a really easy shot down the field to a JJ or Addison or, Juwan Jennings or, a DeMond.
Well, definitely the big improvement is going to have to be that run calling, run play calling. Bubba, you said it last year. That we need to get some more mixes of runs in there. And I agree. I think that's going to be something that O'Connell has to do to help with the passing game.
You got to be able to run the ball in the trenches. And that's the other thing too, is it's not just about, it mixes up the play calling, but it's also wear and tear on the defense that makes it easier to score on them. But it's also the reverse. If you can't run the ball, and all you can do is pass, you get completely predictable, and then that's just going to lead to 3 and outs. Your defense, no matter how all-world it is, a gas defense is a gas defense.
Yep.
In my personal opinion, and Bubba, you might want to clip this one too, I think that by week 5, if they're at a 500 record or just above, like we say 3-2, because I don't know when their first bye week is, but I say that if the seat starts to boil for KOC, just pull the rug on him already and just make Flores the coach.
Week 6 is the bye, and you have someone with play calling experience in Frank Smith already on the staff. And I know that he's not the coordinator by any means. KOC is the play caller of this team until he's not. And if he's not, then he's not the head coach.
Wow.
Because I feel like Flores has those connections.
Let's go.
You know?
So
I really do.
I'm not granting these any screen time. I love it, though. Troll away, sir. Troll away.
Bubba, who would you want as a head coach other than Brian Flores? Because I really feel like Flores is going to be one of the hottest, coaching pickups in terms of if a team needs a head coach.
Nobody picking him up, dog. He's suing everyone in the league. He's literally named everyone and pointed a finger. If he ain't coaching head coach for the Vikings, he ain't getting a head coaching job.
That's the key right there. I mean, Flores has nowhere to go until after this lawsuit. But let's take Flores out of the picture. Man, that's tough because I mean,
OCHC.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call because I mean,
I've always been a big fan of.
I've always been a big fan of Mike Singletary, bringing him back as a head coach because I mean I thought he did good in San Fran until it went south. Of course Hommedahl was a good one, but yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, because Bubba's on to something.
If KOC isn't the head coach of this team until the end of his contract, it's Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Right? If KOC for whatever reason gets let go, and you guys may be too evil since you're here to share your knowledge, it was so needed. Go ahead and let us know what you think about a potential coaching change season in there. Whether it's mid-season or after the season. They just signed B-Flow to that extension. He continues to put out fantastic defenses that bail bad offenses out. I mean, this team nearly made the playoffs last year because of that defense in spite of the offense in a lot. So it's a lot to it's a lot to unpack there. Who would then be the guy? Maybe Nolan Teasley knows somebody, right? Because I don't think it's necessarily anyone that's out there right now. You're not going to steal someone mid-season that's not just available. Wow.
Anybody from the college ranks?
Wow. Okay, Too Evil. You're a great gold medal.
Well, I mean, he is right. I mean, he did win Coach of the Year, but
so did Kevin Stefanski twice. Look at how that turned out.
That might be a guy I'd probably be willing to bring in as Stefanski because I mean he won 2 Coach of the Years with the Browns and didn't do nothing. I mean,
I don't know. KOC is a fart in the wind. Thank you, Norsefius. Thank you.
and I've said this repeatedly. I like the head coach KOC, right? Like I like the head coach Kevin O'Connell. I have a problem with Kevin O'Connell, the play caller, right? That's where I tend to differ than a lot of guys. I think, but it's obvious that he's not ever going to let go of that play calling, right? He's not going to let that.
May I offer some insight that I found interesting?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not the homer here. I'm the outside guy looking in. I'm sure going to root for Minnesota because of you guys, but I'm a Chiefs guy. So there's a couple of similarities here with Andy Reid. We just brought back Eric Bieniemy and got rid of Matt Nagy. We're bringing back, make no mistakes. Yes, Andy Reid is going to call some of the plays, but EB is going to be the one calling the plays this year. And that is the thing that's been missing for the Chiefs. But also, I feel like that's what's missing for Minnesota is if Kevin could table his ego and go find himself an offensive coordinator who doesn't have Kevin's hand up his butt telling him what to call, I feel like it would make for a much more complete Vikings coaching staff because I really feel like that Kevin O'Connell, especially with the new front office coming in too, he's you guys say a short leash. I think that this is just they're finding out the most polite way to let this guy go.
Yeah, I mean, and I think most teams, yeah, your head coach might, if he's an expert on either side of the ball, might call more plays than he should, but you definitely hire somebody to be that play caller, and then you focus on both sides of the ball. So and that's one thing I think Bubba will agree on is that O'Connell, great head coach, but he just has to be able to step back from the play calling, let whoever play call. And if you're struggling, then okay, maybe you step in for a game and stuff like that and make your adjustments. But yeah, definitely need a play caller.
Yeah, O'Connell needs to stop calling plays like he's the quarterback because he's not.
Yeah.
And also, too evil, too hope. I love you, buddy.
And I think that's something Bubba brought up too, that O'Connell wants to be the quarterback. He's still that quarterback mind.
I don't think it's 25. I think it's probably 12 teams. That
O'Connell's no Sean Payton
to do something in there. I think, like I said, I like him as a coach. I don't think a lot of people believe in him as a play caller as much as Too Evil does. God bless.
They may okay. He may be onto something as a head coach. There's not 25 teams that are calling him. Maybe an offensive coordinator, maybe a quarterback's coach. Yeah, there might be 25 teams that are calling him, but as a head coach, there's not 25 teams that are calling him.
After the few seasons, you think there's a quarterback room that's looking at his resume right now going, yeah, let's bring that guy in.
Yeah, there's about 10 of them. The same 10 teams that are at the bottom of the league every single year, recycling head coaches and offensive coordinators and everything. I think there's still going to be, because of the resume that he has, and I don't think he's an awful coach. I'm not as hard on him as Norse is, and a lot of other guys. I think he's a good leader. I just think he has a mental block when it comes to calling plays in the moment. He may come in with the best, the best laid plans, but when it gets to crunch time, like I said, he's too far in the headset and in, thinking he's on the field and knowing how to make it and not being able to take himself out of that QB position and saying, what's the best play to call for the player that is on the field? Right? Mm-hmm. Not what is the best play that I think I can make, which you obviously can't, because if you could, you'd be playing quarterback and not behind the scenes and on the sideline, right? And that is who there.
The thing is I think he's a good motivator. I mean, I'd like to hear what he has to say before the games, in the locker room, because after the games, I mean, especially when they win, they always show the clips of him pass out the ball and stuff, and he's got good things to say and motivates them. I kind of wish we had access to the locker room beforehand just to kind of hear what he says pregame or even at halftime, because I think the team likes him. I think the team's got his back as a motivating head coach.
Yeah, as the guy in front of the room, and even in their losses, and I thought that was more telling last year with kind of a rough season, to have it back, and the way he still had, command of the room. There wasn't guys that were bailing on him. A lot of things happen during a season that keep you out of that postseason play. And the way that they still had respect for him, and seeing the way that guys kind of rally around him. Do I think he has a tendency to wear his emotions on his face and on his sleeve during the games? Do I think that he needs to work on maybe not showing that frustration sometimes? I also think that's kind of an endearing thing as well, right? He's not someone who's flying off the handle. He's a very even-keeled head coach, which I think is something the Vikings find very attractive. They don't want someone who's going to be an embarrassment to their organization, a la a Denny Green, or someone who's going to fly off the handle and, give it to the officials. And I think that he's a measured individual who is very well suited for the job of head coach, where I think his failings are as a play caller and being able to let go of his pride and his ego to put someone else in that position. And ultimately that may end up costing him his job. Like I said, if this team comes out and goes 2-4 before the bye week, 2-3, it's going to be tough. Maybe he gets the week. I don't know what you end up doing. If they only win one before the bye, you're going to have the entire city and the entire fan base calling for his head. Especially if it's Kyler Murray at the helm, because there'll be no one else left to blame.
I like Norbius's comment there. And that's what the KLC has to do. Stop throwing, the young quarterback under the bus or any player under the bus. And according to, what Pod said earlier, that might have motivated JJ to be a better player this year, despite what O'Connell said about him. So that might be the driving force right there. But, so.
I love that Norris calls him KFC. That's funny to me. It's also making me hungry. So stop it, Norris.
I mean, man, if he doesn't start calling better plays, it's going to be where he ends up managing his next job.
KOC at KFC.
Also, not calling plays as the offensive coordinator there. That's like saying Matt Nagy won a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator with the Chiefs that year, which got him a head coaching job with the Chicago Bears. And we saw exactly the shoe salesman that he was after he got there. So let's let's pump the brakes on that. I love it though. You're great. You're great content too, Evil. I appreciate you, man. You should have your own show. Oh man. Anything else you guys want to hit? We've already been on for 50 plus minutes.
Well, there was a question I wanted to ask both of you, and I didn't. I was going to ask at the beginning, but we kind of got.
It's too late, Pod. Sorry, you'll have to save it for next month.
Damn.
Go ahead.
Is there any stories, B or Bubba, that you guys have seen coming out of minicamp that you're like, okay, this is like you were like, okay, this player's doing better than expected, or someone you may have thought isn't going to make the roster now making a push that they look like they're going to hit the 53-man
No,
roster?
I mean, the reports I was listening to on the local radio show here is everybody's so tied up with the quarterback issue. I mean, I was telling Bubba earlier, the only thing I heard about anybody else really is that a lot of people are impressed with Caleb Banks and comparing him to a young Aaron Donald.
So Big Citrus is doing good.
No, Banks. Yeah, Citrus is doing good. I mean, a lot of people are loving this defense.
Banks hasn't even been on the field doing anything. They're saying it's all above the shoulders type stuff.
Yeah.
They like what he brings to the table in that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, a lot of it's just been tied up with the quarterbacks and the stat I put out there earlier. So that's where everybody's focus is right now. I mean, I guess, give some time, and once the real preseason starts, then we might get some, better stories. But right now, everybody's just focused on, what's going on in the quarterback locker room.
Most exciting thing for me, Pods, was Jordan Addison seems like he's got a fire lit under his ass, which is good. He should. Out there running crisp routes and, catching a lot of balls, moving like he should be, feeling the pressure of a Juwan Jennings signing, and as he should. And if, if we can believe what they're saying about the defense kind of being in midseason form with a lot of new players on there. Harrison Smith still not announcing any retirement yet, leaving that door cracked open is always going to be a topic of conversation every week. No longer an if, but a when is he going to sign a 1-year deal and join the team? I think that is kind of what I'm following before we put the pads on in training camp.
And Bubba, you bringing up Jennings lighting a fire under Addison. I mean, it's just weird. These guys are pro athletes. Addison's been in the league for 4 years now, and it's just sad that we have to bring somebody in to threaten your job to make you perform with the ability that we know you have. So, but I'm glad Addison's got it. So,
Yeah, I mean, this team didn't have to sign a Kyler Murray, right? That's why I loved it. The competition, breeding that in there. I don't think that they were just gift wrapping this, and I think that it's played out that they said it was a competition. Nobody believed him. You've seen it continue to trend that way. Kyler, not that impressive with his reps in these early sayings. Granted, it's early, early stuff. He hasn't had a lot of time with the playbook, but the guy's not necessarily known for being like a big book study guy. Yep. Right. So, and what can you get without the reps? JJ McCarthy coming out and looking sharper. I won't say that, by far any means looking, like the best quarterback in the league. I don't think he's a hopeless case like 2E does.
I think he looks like the best quarterback on the Minnesota Vikings right now, though.
A lot can change in training camp too. So it's going to be interesting to see, do they continue that? I mean, all things point to this competition continuing, them putting and keeping the fire under both of these quarterbacks to perform. They each have a month to go back and train on their own. Are they staying about it? Are they continuing to get together with some of these? I mean, these players can get together on their own time. There's nothing that's stopping them from doing that. So is a Juwan Jennings able to work out with a JJ McCarthy in the offseason and build some rapport there? Is Jetta's getting together with him as they have in the full offseason? It's going to be really interesting to see. I know a lot of these guys kind of get away from this point until like maybe after the 4th of July holiday. You get some time, you spend some time with your family. Obviously a lot of these guys.
And it's time to go to work.
Well, and it's not to say that you're not working out and you're not doing that, but you're probably not on the field, 4 or 5 days a week, right? But I think a lot of these guys, knowing what's at stake here over the course of this next season, that are looking to be able to go and really get together in this time and to be there. And I hope Jordan Addison is one of those players as well who's working out.
Well, and the thing is, too, is they have to build on what they finished off last year with. I mean, they finished off the season strong, 1 game away from making the playoffs, possibly 1 play away from making the playoffs if they would have just stopped the Bears' return. So they got some motivation and some things to build off of last year going into this year.
They got the chip on their shoulder, that's for sure. But I'm worried. I'm glad there's a fire lit under McCarthy, and I'm glad there's a fire lit under Addison. But I worry about Addison still. Because as you mentioned, this is his 4th year. So is it a fire because, okay, I'm going to be a better player to help this team? Or is it, am I going to be a better player to go get my bag because they might not be picking up my 5th-year option?
You're exactly right.
Because does Jordan Addison want to be eventually a Jay Jettas? Or is he just okay with being a Chase Claypool or a Juju?
Well, and that's the whole thing is, I mean,
those are pretty harsh comparisons for Addison.
But again, he's not wrong. I mean, you get into the league to be the best, and if you are playing with arguably the best receiver, you're going to want to be that next guy. So, we've said before, Jordan Addison needs some growing, needs some mentor. Maybe he's finally got it. Maybe he finally pulled his head out of, a part of his body. But, hopefully that everything's firing up. And, because I'd like to see Addison, Jetta stick together and be a top 2.
I'd love to, too. He's uber talented.
Yeah. Definitely
but
be a
he's not
combo.
Motivated.
Yeah. So
now he is.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm excited for the season to get underway, preseason. Definitely everything Bubba's setting up for us to do. Hopefully I can partake in a lot of that.
Well, if we get down into Hastings, right, that's not too far away from you.
No.
You'd be able to do that. We'll see. It depends on how often I'm able to travel and get around. And maybe you guys are doing the show, all together up there. The Minnesota gang are able to do it from there and hit some pregame shows. And we'll keep this thing rolling, man. I mean, we're growing, and as we grow, I understand that that my role will eventually be mostly behind the scenes, right? And I thought you did, and that's why you didn't show up, hon. My bad.
Danielle, once you fire somebody, you got to hire them again, so then we can refire them. I mean, that's how it works.
Another onboarding.
Freaking J. Jonah Jameson over here with all the hiring and firing.
Yeah.
Love it, boys. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Follow along on all the content we're putting out here on the Sports Network. We're not just Vikings centric. We have our golf show, The Scratch Project, every Saturday. We got U.S. Open coverage coming this week, so we'll be on live after every round, recapping it and getting that done. We will be making things happen there. We also have our Sunday night baseball show, 7, 8, 9. We will be adding more basketball shows. We will be adding hockey in next season and really working this thing over. Always looking for co-hosts out there too. So if you guys love talking sports, hit us up. You might find yourself a home here on the spot where fan community really builds it. And this is what we've built in a short amount of time. Where we go from here is going to be truly amazing. So really appreciate everybody tuning in. Cody has not begged for his job back yet. So currently he is, he says he's late day working deals. So we'll see. Trying to make all that money so he can finally buy himself a decent computer to run off of and not his phone. Pods, we're working on yours, buddy. Appreciate everything you do for us. Any parting shots, guys?
Just one. Remember, guys, if you need it built right, Odyssey Exteriors.
This is why Pods is getting a promotion. He's always hitting the sponsor. Skol Mafia.
Yeah.
I hope you get on and check out the stuff we've been putting up on the Roku channel, Booms TV 2.0, BOOMZ. We got the Vocal Vike channel video series started on there now. You guys go support your boy Rap. Make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're telling everybody. Go check out the channel. I know his mom's really excited about it. So really appreciate everybody tapping in with us tonight. Make sure you share this show out with all your people. Let them know. We do this every night, 8 p.m. Central. We appreciate you. Skol Mafia. Cannot wait to see you at Skol Fest September 12th. Looking forward to being there with as much of the crew as we can. Really throwing down for you guys and making some big things happen. So with that, we love you all. Be good to one another. 2E, go easy on Norsefius. I don't want to see him have to kick your ass. Love you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Skol.
Let's go.